Well, my shrink at the VA wanted me to write a story because I've been writing them since I was a little girl. And she wanted me to do one for a competition. And so it had to be 3 pages double-spaced. And it just unfolded. I started writing it and it just happened. And so this is how it goes. Little girl Cherry. I awoke this morning and went to my 4-pane window. There was a mist in the air that hung over like a loud voice whisper. I knew in my heart this day would not be like others. But to walk forward, I must put one foot in front of the other. So as I slipped on my slippers and wrapped my robe about me, I went outside to greet the day, weary but excited. As I breathed in the moist air, I decided to go back inside to the kitchen, and I started a pot of coffee on the Cuisinart drip machine with fresh Costa Rican, Brita filtered water, and an unbleached filter, of course. I am nothing but a purist. I stepped back out and awaited that first aromatic sip, and it was then my thoughts drifted. My little sister has temporary legal guardianship of the most beautiful little girl. We really don't know of her past, but I imagine it's tragic. How else could you give up such an angelic creature? The day she was found, she was walking aimlessly through town square, and it was on that day dozens of dragonflies swarmed around me in my yard for no apparent reason. She is coming to visit me this morning. My sister has an appointment with her OBGYN. I am going to prepare this little girl's favorite breakfast, Pepperidge Farm cherry turnovers. This little girl couldn't speak for almost 6 months, except for the word cherry. They scoured missing children bladders and tested DNA and took fingerprints. It all came to a dead end. She was found in tattered clothes, new shoes, and Bonnie Bell lip gloss in her pocket, worn down to a nub. Eventually, they put her in a mentally impaired class where my sister teaches, and found out she was mentally sound. They called her Cherry. I now know the reason she kept repeating cherry. It was a flavored lip gloss she could not do without. I guess everyone has a comfort they're not willing to part with. When she was here last, she played with the little boy next door. The boy is bright, with tons of charisma to boot. What a pair they make. A mild-mannered, sweet, sensitive child that could warm the cockles of any soul. With this child of adventure and mischief. Still, they seem to make each other happy. There were so many mysteries surrounding my home those fall and winter months. I don't pay much attention to idle gossip, but one thing kept bothering me. My cat came in one day trailing in bloody paw prints. I gave her a saucer of milk, and when she was done, I inspected her claws. To my surprise, there were tiny pinpricks on the pads of her feet. I am also perplexed with many missing pets, Miss Polinsky's teeth missing from her bedside table, and Lucy DiCarlo's baby dying of SIDS. I bought Cherry a new pair of shoes and cherry-flavored lip gloss for her visit today. I am so excited to see her expression when I give them to her. I kind of like being her favorite auntie. I just hope she doesn't get hurt this visit. Last time, I got a birdhouse for her and the little boy, Bobby, next door to assemble and paint. Cherry was accidentally hit with a hammer, and her little thumb throbbed all day and turned to a deep color of eggplant. The time before that, they were playing on the swing, and she fell and practically tore her arm out of the socket. Thank goodness we have good insurance. My other sister dropped Cherry off to my home. She came running down the walkway to the front door with her arms wide spread and a face glowing with glee. I've always welcomed her with the unconditional love and warmth you would give to a child forgotten. I picked her up, strolled her around, and called her my little Cherry girl. I took her to her room to show her the lip gloss and shoes. I was surprised to hear she didn't want to wear the new shoes until the old ones were worn out. It was as if she would never get another pair of new shoes. I consoled her because she felt she hurt my feelings, so I offered her the cherry turnover, which she gladly accepted with a large glass of ice cold milk. And then she was ready to play outside. The little boy next door really had no other friends, so he was available. Just hope they don't get into any trouble. He's a likable enough kid, but there's something in his eyes. My little sister called me with good news. She had been told she had a large cyst on her left ovary and was frightened of her reproductive capabilities. But with this last ultrasound, it seems not to exist. All my sister ever wanted was a child, and now it seems like a blissful possibility. I don't know if her words were just that of joyous exuberance or that of a girl just giddy, but she said Cherry laid her hands on her belly the night before while sitting beside her and slowly rocking back and forth, and she felt her womb, felt warmth penetrating through her room. Maybe she just had one glass of wine too many. A few hours later, I heard a shrill voice of urgency beneath the ground. I thought it was coming from the basement, so I went to investigate. I then found Cherry cradling Bobby's head in her lap, sitting cross-legged with her palms on his temples, rocking back and forth, surrounded by mutilated animal corpses swinging from the rafters on nooses, and then again, dozens of dragonflies swarmed about their heads. Bobby was never the same after that. His eyes were kind, and he was simple now. The community was at peace. That is when Cherry vanished, just as fast as she appeared. It was just then a tiny sparrow flew to my feet and circled around me 3 times. It's been many years now, and I've heard of her appearance here and there, always looking for her tender-aged, unhallowed counterparts across the country and many continents. And for always, a little girl. And now, I now know she needs the new shoes when she gets to her next destination. For the old ones are worn beyond repair, and what she repairs is left behind. God bless the little children.